Hello, boys and girls. When the people heard that Jesus was coming for the Passover festival, they took palm branches and went out to greet him. They shouted, "Hooray! God bless the one who comes in the name of the Lord. God bless the King of Israel." Jesus found a donkey and rode on it, just as the scriptures say. "People of Jerusalem, don't be afraid. Your king is now coming, and he is riding on a donkey." The two disciples went into the city and found everything just as Jesus had told them. So they prepared the Passover meal. After the Last Supper with his disciples, Jesus walked to the Garden of Gethsemane with his disciples. Then he knelt with his face to the ground and he prayed, "My Father, if there is no other way, and I must suffer, I will do what you want." Judas had promised to betray Jesus, so he went to the garden with some Roman soldiers and temple police, who had been sent by the chief priests and Pharisees. They carried torches, lanterns, and weapons. Jesus already knew everything that was going to happen, but he asked, "Who are you looking for?" They answered, "We are looking for Jesus from Nazareth." Jesus told them, "I am Jesus." After Jesus had been arrested, he was led off to the house of Caiaphas, the high priest. The nation's leaders and the teachers of the laws of Moses were meeting there. Jesus was brought before Pilate, the governor. And when the chief priests and leaders brought their charges against him, he didn't say a thing. Friday morning they took him before Pilate, the Roman governor, who found Jesus innocent of any crime. The crowd cried out, "Crucify him!" Pilate gave them a choice to release the worst prisoner or Jesus, and the crowd chose to release the worst prisoner. The crowd cried out again, "Crucify him!" until Pilate gave permission to crucify Jesus. The soldiers took Jesus to a place called Calvary and crucified him between two thieves. Jesus had never sinned, but God treated him as a sinner so that Jesus could make us acceptable to God. Pilate placed a sign above Jesus' head. "This is Jesus, King of the Jews." A rich man called Joseph asked Pilate if he could bury Jesus in his new tomb. He said yes. So Joseph and Nicodemus buried Jesus. Jesus rested in the tomb on Saturday. The Jews asked Pilate for a guard in case his disciples came and took his body and claimed his resurrection. On Sunday, God sent an angel to call Jesus, "Son of God, come out." And Jesus arose and came out alive. On Sunday morning, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been rolled away from the entrance. She ran to Simon Peter and to Jesus' favourite disciple, that's John, and said, "They have taken the Lord from the tomb. We don't know where they've put him." Peter and John started for the tomb. They ran side by side until John ran faster than Peter and got there first. He bent over and saw the strips of linen lying inside the tomb, but he didn't go in. And when Simon Peter got there, he went into the tomb and saw the strips of cloth, but no one was there. Mary Magdalene came back and she stood crying outside of the tomb. She stooped down and saw two angels inside. The angels asked Mary, "Why are you crying?" She turned around and saw Jesus standing there. Jesus said to her, "Mary, don't hold on to me. I have not yet gone to my Father. I am going to my Father and tell my disciples that you saw me." While Jesus' disciples were talking about what had happened, Jesus appeared and greeted them. They were frightened and terrified because they thought they were seeing a ghost. Jesus then asked them, "Do you have something to eat?" And they gave him a piece of boiled fish and some honeycomb, and he took them and he ate it. Later, Jesus appeared to his disciples along the shore of Lake Tiberias, or the Sea of Galilee. The disciples had breakfast on the beach with Jesus. More than 500 people saw Jesus after he rose from the dead. 40 days later, Jesus returned to his Father in heaven. 2 angels told the disciples, "Jesus has been taken to heaven, but he will come back in the same way that you have seen him go, and that is to take you and me to his kingdom in heaven." Won't that be good?